Hello world, it's Dave again, and I figured this time I'd do a video that was not really, it's not a question and answer, it's not a teaching in Japan kind of thing, it's just general rambling about life in Japan, because I haven't got any emails to answer that would require a video, and a couple of funny things have happened to me recently, which I haven't seen, and I've been here for over a year now, and so when I do see things, they're a little more surprising because, and sorry I should say, when I see things for the first time, they're a little more surprising because I have had the year of experience to see a whole bunch of different things happen. And just recently, one of the funny ones that happened to me was I teach this small class. It's called Minori. It changes if you're in elementary school. This kind of class has a different name. In junior high school, it has another name. And to explain Minori a little bit, it's just it's amazing. You know, you got junior high schools in Japan where when kids enter the school, they still do entrance tests for their school. So you get a whole variety of scores, and if the scores are low enough, it's not absolutely mandatory, but you can opt in to this Minori class to be able to receive a little additional help. But from what I've seen, I'd probably opt out. I would probably just have my kid be, even if they were struggling a little bit in the regular class, because I don't see, I mean, I try and give as much help as I can, but it's not enriched enough. This isn't a video about the teaching techniques in the Minori anyway, so I shouldn't go on about that. Anyways, the other point there is that it's kind of a smaller class. And so there's not that many kids, and I went into the class recently, and I talked to the kids a little bit, sometimes in a little bit of Japanese, my pathetically weak Japanese that I still try and communicate with. And I went into the class, and I just asked the kids how they were doing. And this kid, I wasn't sure. I thought maybe I misheard, but I said, "How are you?" And he said, "Fuck you." And I was like, what? There's no way he actually just said that. But then as time went on, I asked him again. I was like, how are you? Are you, daijoubu desu ka? Are you okay? And he said, "Fuck you." He said it again. And I think the kid's young enough that when this kind of thing happens, he's not really grasping the meaning of it when he says it to me, and so I wasn't going to get angry. You know, you can kind of get this feeling in a different situation if somebody's actually serious when they do that, you know, so I might be a little more angry. But I didn't respond to it at all, and then the class started up, and bear in mind at this point that nobody had arrived to the class yet. The teacher hadn't arrived to assist me with the class, and eventually she showed up, and we started teaching the kids and stuff, and this kid was being a little more resistant again when I was trying to just get him to do this little basic bit of writing that we were working on. And it was hilarious because lo and behold, we get to working, and he's a little bit resistant, and I go, "Do you understand?" And he tells me to fuck off again. Mid-class. Except at this point, the teacher was in the room, and you should have seen the flames of hell that I swear I could see within her eyes when he said that. And in a year, I've never seen a kid removed from a class before. And she walked up to him and said, you know, "Imi wa shiteru?" Which is basically, "Do you know the meaning of what you just said?" And he kind of like, you know, he froze at that point. And just like I predicted, I don't think he really did know the meaning of what he had said to me. And he took him out of the class. She took him out of the class. And I just continued as I went. But then he eventually came back, and in a great tearful apology, he said sorry to me in Japanese, you know, and I just pat him on the back. I was like, you know, it's okay. I shook his hand. I tried to be polite. And like I said, I think it's really rooted in, I was almost like he needed to make that mistake, and he needed to have that teacher have that experience with him. Where it was something that shocked him and he didn't realize what it was that he was doing, and that kind of negative experience now will be forever marked in his mind, I think. So he didn't need the foreigner, he didn't need like the foreigner fear where I like terrified him, where I got all upset. It was appropriate the way that it went down, I think, and he'll never forget it, and I think it was the appropriate level of response because he was scared. And I think the important thing was that it came from a Japanese teacher, especially because he didn't totally understand what he was doing. But let it not be said, you can't be surprised by things after a year of being here, because I never expected one of the kids to tell me to fuck off. I can say that much. A funny day, though. I mean, in the rest of that day when I was in the class, I've never seen a teacher lose it on the kids either. But in one of my classes, there's been a teacher who's been there for a while, and she has kind of disappeared for medical reasons. I hope she's all right. And as a result of that, a replacement teacher has come. And this replacement teacher, bless her soul, is a wonderful person. I really like her. She's actually retired and has kind of been like called in special ops to look after these classes while the other teacher is gone. But it's really brutal because these classes were difficult in the first place, and this other teacher seemed to, for whatever reason, they listened to her. And it's not like this new teacher is bad, but I just don't think she has the exact same control over the classes that the other one did, and the kids just don't have this built-up respect for her. And so the classes have been horrible, and they've been getting worse and worse. And when there's a lack of discipline generally, like I say, I've never seen a kid taken out of class, no matter how bad his behavior. It's just been mounting until finally, just this week, I saw her lose it in class. And I don't need to understand all the words to know exactly what it was that she was trying to get across. And she was pissed, and she was stamping her feet, and she was not happy with these kids. And that was pretty crazy to watch because I've never seen that in the year that I've been here. But, I had another teacher came over from one of the other classes because it was so loud. So I've said in other videos, if you come over thinking that you're going to be dealing with absolute little disciplined ninjas who are hanging on every single one of your words, that's not absolutely true at all. It's quite the opposite. There's a huge variety. You'll have great classes. You'll have classes like this, and you'll constantly be surprised by the behavior when you come here. So that was kind of interesting in terms of behavioral stuff that I was able to witness, and very shocking, something I've not seen before. But interesting, and I got through the week. It was funny. I just felt at the beginning of the week, I was like, it's getting close to the summer. I'm going to go home. It's been like over a year since I've been back to Canada, so I'm really excited for that. Maybe even make a few videos when I get back to Canada so people can see the transition when I'm visiting everybody in Vancouver, so I'm really stoked for that. And I just felt like, as I'm approaching that time, that like time's pushing back against me, and how I'm so interested and so excited to be home, that in that way that you desperately want to be somewhere else, although I didn't even think that much, it's slowing things down, and things have become that little bit difficult. Because I went into this week, I was like, I just got a feeling like weird stuff is going to happen this week, and it really did. Stuff I've never seen. It seems to be another thing too. The summers are so brutal in Japan in terms of it's really hot, it's really humid, and I get, last year I got this brutal, I got itchy. I got itchy last year, and I had to go to the hospital, figure it out. And I thought maybe that was just because I was here for the first time, acclimatizing to Japan. But then this year, I got like a mutant strain of strep throat. Luckily, my roommate knew of a local place that was this really kind doctor, wonderful vibe coming off this guy. So I went in, and it's funny, it's not like pristine like a Canadian hospital or something like that, but the guy was so knowledgeable and had such an incredible bedside manner that I would prefer going there to go into an ultra-sterilized place where somebody wouldn't treat you like a human being. So I was really impressed with that. More the point here is that I was battling off a sickness. It was like all these things were coming together, but I got my meds, and I battled down the strep throat within a record time, because I know strep throat. I've had it once or twice in my life, and so I knew when this started to happen that that's what I was getting, so I immediately went to get it checked out. So that was another thing. And I just, like I say, I felt like in this last while, I've had to kind of forge through some tough stuff. But it's happening now. I thought June would go quickly, and I go home on July the 19th, and here we are. June's almost done. So I am just stoked. And other good things have happened in my life. I've been, gym's a big thing when I'm here. I love the gym, love working out, and I got my company to hunt me down a really nice gym when I first arrived. And, I say a really nice gym, I would complain about it. In comparison to when I've been back home, there's a new YMCA open downtown in Vancouver, and it's incredible. Just like a beautiful facility, steam room, amazing pool, like infrared pool, so it's got really low chlorine. Anyways, this gym that I've been going to for the last year doesn't have a squat rack, doesn't have a bench press. Free weights only go up to 20 kilograms. I had to be very creative to have a good workout. So this new one that I found, it's, seek or ask and you shall receive, or whatever that phrase is. I asked my teacher, I was like, I'm so frustrated. I asked my Japanese teacher, I said, I'm so frustrated. I don't have a good gym to go to. I mean, I know that I can keep using it for a while, but I feel as though my progress is going to kind of stall out there pretty rapidly. I'm going to have to find something else. And she said, oh, you didn't know there's like a 10-minute drive away, there's this huge arena that has a big gym. And so I'm going to that new gym now, and I can tell within a week, just getting jacked, that it's got a squat rack, it's got a bench press, it's got everything that I want, and I can tell that there's already like 100 different options that I have now in terms of variety of workouts. And so I'm really excited to be there. That's another good thing. And yeah, that's it. You know, my life's just really exciting now because the summer holidays are coming pretty fast, and I'm going to be off to Canada, and it's something I looked forward to for ages. In the first, again, I was talking to my roommate the other night, in the first 7 months I was here, pretty sure for about, you know, every like third or fourth week I would have a dream where I was back in Canada, and it was really disorienting, where I would wake up and I'd be like, where am I? Oh, I'm in Japan. And it just shows how connected you are to that familiar place that you came from. You know, it took over like half a year for my body to acclimatize to being here and to not just dream about being home. But I often say that I miss it in the best way, you know, where it's like you miss it and you'd enjoy being back there. Not as though I want to leave Japan, but when you miss something and you miss it with a little bit of pain, that means you value where it was that you came from. If I came to Japan and I felt nothing for where I came from, then I would be almost a little bit worried, because I was like, so I guess I really didn't care about where I came from. Not that I have a solid home in Canada, but I just, you know, I have very significant friends and people I love and want to see that I've been away from for some time now. So I'm really excited about that. Anybody who watches my channel knows that I also do book reviews. I'm writing a book. I kind of hinted that, but I am writing a book, and I've had good book reading recently. But I'll do that in the book review. I won't bore people here when I'm talking about Japan with book reviews. You can check those out when I do them. What else? Getting back into guitar. I played guitar for years, and now I dropped out of it for a number of reasons, but I'm getting back into a little treat. Check this out. Look at this. I bought this back in Canada when I was like really, really into guitar, and this is my baby. Check out my baby. That's right, I drool over it. This is a Gibson SG, no fakes here. Beautiful platinum edition. It's amazing, and I'm playing again, and I love it. Anyways, I'm rusty. Yeah. So getting into that again. Exciting times. And I haven't made a video in a little while, so I figured without any sort of theme to it, I figured I'd do this one. And I don't really want it to drag on, so I'll probably end it around here. But anybody who checks this out, you always know that if you do have questions about teaching in Japan, I'm available for Skype, because I'll chat with people on Skype if they have questions. If they want to just send me an email, I'll make a video for you. Any questions, anything at all, please, you know, my contact's down below. Get a hold of me, and I'll do my best to give you good answers. So, yeah, that's all for now. And like I like to say, until we meet again next time, world, ciao for now. Peace. Thanks for tripping with Dave.